There is an old weapon in the Himalayan traditions, a weapon not forged for war, but for the invisible battles that shape a human life. This weapon is called the Purba, the kīla, the demon-subduing dagger of the Buddhist faith. It's a three-edged ritual blade carved with wrathful faces and protective deities, held by yogis, shamans, and tantric adepts for more than 1,000 years. Yet the Purba was never meant to cause any physical harm. Its blade is blunt, its edge is symbolic, its purpose is entirely energetic. When you hold a Purba in your hand, when you feel its weight, its balance, its geometry, you begin to notice something else. The pommel fits naturally into the palm. The ridge beneath the carved faces catches the index finger. The triangular shaft gives the thumb a perfect brace. And the tapered point, firm, dense, controlled, can be applied with precision to the most sensitive sites on the body. It feels less like a dagger and more like a tool designed to press, trace, release and direct energy. Almost as if its ritual purpose and its anatomical usefulness were two expressions of the very same ancient aim. Self-mastery as a path to divine connection and energetic protection. And if you've already watched my previous video on the secret functions of the Vajra, you'll recognize the pattern here. Another ancient ritual object whose symbolic form may conceal a deeper, more practical purpose. Where the Vajra embodies energetic indestructibility and focused bioelectrical force, the Purba embodies precision, penetration, and the act of pinning down and then dissipating the built-up energies that distract and confuse the human physiological and psychological systems. Traditionally, the Purba is linked with Vajra Kilaya, the fierce protector deity of practitioners and initiates. His energy is far from violent. It is surgical and piercing, the precise, wrathful compassion that cuts through confusion, temptation, fear, and subtle interferences that enables the adherent to progress without distraction or obstruction. In Vajrayana Buddhism, the Purba subdues demons, or the maras, the negative forces that obstruct humanity's awakening. Many of these temptations and distractions are external. However, these external influences only stoke the most destructive internal feelings. Feelings of fear, anger, lust, ignorance, greed, and the other subtle forces that deceive the mind and weaken the spirit. In Buddhism, the Purba's three edges represent the cutting of the three poisons of delusion, craving, and aversion, and its point, purposefully blunted, represents the act of pinning down the negative forces so they can no longer move or influence the body or the psyche. It is a ritual weapon of sovereignty, a tool for reclaiming and defending one's own inner ground. Used over clothing, as I believe the Tibetans themselves would have done in the cold heights of the Himalayas, the Purba becomes an extension of the hand, a way to apply slow, steady pressure without strain, a way to reach the places the fingers cannot reach and sustain the pressure the fingers cannot hold. The tip is perfect for tracing the sutures of the skull and awakening the subtle centres along the cranial lines. The rounded pommel works beautifully around the suboccipitals, the occipital ridge, the atlas bone, and the deep muscles that anchor the head. Down the neck, the purba slides into the scalenes, behind the clavicle, along the first rib, and across the sternocleidomastoid, upper trapezius, and scapulae. Across the ribs, the triangular edges slip between the intercostals, stimulating the small nerve fibres that run along the inferior border of each rib. Its length makes it easy to reach the posterior intercostals, the serratus posterior, and the erector spinae without contorting the body. Across the shoulders, it glides over the deltoid, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres major and minor, and even the subscapularis. Along the scapula, it traces the spine, the medial border, and the infraspinous fossa, releasing adhesions and knots with surprising ease. And even the feet benefit immensely. The purba separates the metatarsals, stimulates the interossei, follows the plantar fascia, and works the heel with the rounded pommel. Anywhere the body holds tension, stagnation, or energetic blockages, hips, knees, arms, legs, the purba can be used with gentle, attentive pressure. And here is the deeper truth. When you use the purba this way, you are not just massaging tissue or releasing fascia. You are subduing the maras, the destructive demons of stagnation, fear, contraction, lust, and energetic collapse. You are reclaiming territory inside your own body. You are restoring circulation to the electromagnetic field that surrounds and permeates you. Thus, you are strengthening the healing boundary between yourself and the world's negative influences. This is why the ancient masters carved wrathful faces into the handle of the purba. Not to frighten, but to remind you of the battle you are fighting. A battle for clarity of mind, sovereignty of spirit, and control of your own energetic field. Again, what I've shown you here is only a fraction of what the purba and tools like it can do. The body holds countless other gateways, deeper channels, hidden sutures, muscular corridors, and subtle energetic nodes that respond powerfully to pressure, massage, tracing, and directed intention. I'll be mapping these regions in future videos and writings using the same anatomical mindset and energetic logic, gradually revealing the broader system underlying this ancient internal art. And all of this belongs to a larger discipline, of course, the conservation of the creative force, the refinement of the inner current, and the awakening of the higher centres that govern human perception and our hidden internal power. So, the purba is not merely a ritual object, it is a physical metaphor, a symbol and a practical tool to help awaken our innate powers of protection and projection. If you want to explore this work in greater depth, you'll find it all in my third book, The Anatomical Alchemist, Weapons of the Gods. The links to my online shop, Amazon pages, books, purbas, vajras, and other acupressure tools are in the description to this video. Because in the end, this is not about any implement, any ritual, or any single tradition. It's about human energy, the most overlooked, underestimated and suppressed force in our short history as a species. If enough people learn to master their own energy, to notice it, clear it, strengthen it, circulate it and protect it, the world would quickly change for the better. Not through politics or ideology or conflict, but through human beings who are no longer ruled by fear, tension, ignorance or manipulation. This is a revolution of the human nervous system, a metamorphosis of the electromagnetic field, a rising of the human spirit, a renaissance of our inner strength, a rebirth of human sovereignty. This is the revolution the Purba points toward, the revolution the Vajra prepares you for. And this is the revolution that begins in the body and ends in a better, more enlightened world.